Mic check, 1-1.
Son of a...
Hey team, Matt Romantic here. First, this is hard.
Son of a...
Hey team, Matt Romantic here. This is my first ever YouTube video. So first of all, cheers to that. Let's take it easy on me, but I'm here to talk about the Bird app. And no, not that Bird app, but the other Bird app, the Blue Bird app, you know, Twitter. And I know what you're probably thinking. You're probably thinking like, oh my gosh, that app is toxic. Like, I've had a lot of bad experiences there. Or you know people who maybe have, because let's face it, a lot of people these days are using things like Instagram and TikTok. And I know Snapchat even had some really good quarter results last week. It was actually their first profitable quarter since their existence. So I think Instagram's got about 2 billion followers, TikTok has about 1 billion, and Twitter is coming in around 330 million followers. So like almost the population of the USA, if you want to put it that way. But it is a global app for the most part. Sure, it's not the biggest, and you know, however you want to judge it, I think it is one of the best social media apps out there. It's great for networking, it's great for connecting. And I actually really love the fact that, you know, there are no filters. Like, it's not about how you look. It's not about editing your work. You actually can't even edit tweets at all. So actually, in my mind, it's a great app. It's very authentic, very genuine. And like everything else in life, and I say this all the time on Twitter, it's really all about how you use it. So, you know, if you're using Instagram can be toxic. If Facebook, oh my gosh, I don't even want to go down that route about Facebook. You know, I start talking about my grumpy uncle who's, you know, I won't even get into the politics of it. No, for some of those reasons, I actually really love Twitter. But first of all, let's start with my journey, you know, and it all starts in 2020 with the lockdown. So I think we can all remember, I vividly remember, you know, March, what was it, like 16th, 17th, something around there. I got an email from Nike saying, hey, we're shutting it down, we're locking down, we're gonna be working from home, we're gonna be remote. And, you know, at this point, we all thought it was going to be kind of like a 2-week thing. So, you know, I find myself with more free time on my hands, like most people, because A, I'm not commuting to work. So for me, at least, that's about 2 hours right there in my day that are freed up. You know, an hour to work, an hour home from work. And then, you know, fortunately, a lot of those pointless meetings dropped off my calendar, to be honest, because when you're at the office, it's really easy to say, hey, let's just go have a meet. Let's go have a meet. Let's hop in this room. But when you're at home, it's a lot harder to do that on Zoom. And you guys know it's kind of awkward to sit on Zoom with silence, like it might be in a meeting room where everyone's just kind of heads down on their laptop working. That's just my personal experience. But anyway, had a lot of free time on my hand, and I opened the Twitter app, and I'm like, what am I doing on here? You know, primarily at the time, I was actually only using it for news. I literally wasn't following any individuals. I wasn't even following any friends. They don't use Twitter. So my good friends are on Instagram, and that's pretty much it. But didn't have any of my real, let's call them IRL friends on. I pretty much only used it for news, but then I came across this self-improvement corner of Twitter, and really, it just blew me away. It was all these individuals, and they were like, just really dead set on improving their lives from a financial standpoint, from a fitness standpoint, and then also from an emotional standpoint. And if you know me, you know, I've always worked out. I ran the Chicago Marathon actually right before COVID hit. It was 2018. I ran the Chicago Marathon, did the half marathon in Las Vegas, right down the strip. I've done some Spartan races. Anyway, you get the point. I'm like, okay, I want to build something. I love building, I love creating. I'm not going to go into any specifics, but I run a pretty high profile Instagram account that's anonymous. It's kind of an inside joke for Nike. Say no more, I'm going to stop it right there because if not, I'll spill the beans, but or spill the tea. What do the kids say these days? Whichever one. I'm usually spilling beer, but anyway. I decided I want to start a new Twitter account, and I wanted to do kind of the anonymous thing because honestly, I've always wondered, you know, there's like these really big anonymous accounts on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, and I'm thinking like I could do that too. Like I'm pretty good. I've got this like I've kind of got, social proof on my Instagram app that I'm kind of referencing. And so I decided I want to do that on Twitter. So I built a new Twitter account. It's focused all around Art Deco, which I love Art Deco. And if you see my apartment here, I've got some like 1920s artwork here. I've got a picture up top of if I can point to it over here. It's really weird to point at yourself behind you, but old picture from Columbus, Ohio, where I'm at right now, and it's from like 1911. So just love everything about the Gilded Age, the 1920s. And so I made an anonymous profile. It was called the Noble Nomad, and I named it that because I like to consider myself as noble, and I'm also very nomadic. So I'm a big traveler. I've got like 500,000 miles on Delta just in the past decade, and so I went with that. And I was anonymous, and I did that for a couple months, and I really had nothing to offer the community. It's all about providing value. Like what can you teach other people? Or what are your life experiences that you can kind of give back to people as well? And so, the first couple of months, they were pretty shaky, I'm not gonna lie, but I started learning from everybody, and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's just so much to learn. I've got people that are investing in stocks. I've got people short selling stocks. I've got people day trading. I've got people that are into dividend investing. I've got people that are into flipping goods online on Amazon, on eBay, like this, that, and another. Anyway, I just started learning from all these folks. I started downloading and purchasing all of their Gumroad courses. And if you're not familiar with Gumroad, it's essentially a website app where it allows creators to upload documents, and you can sell them, for free, for money. You can provide emails, descriptions. You get to set your own price. It's a really good platform for creators, really awesome. So basically, I started downloading all of these Gumroad courses, and I just started learning and seeing, what might fit for me. And I came across this one course called Blank Books, selling blank books on Amazon, and it kind of caught my attention because I didn't know what the heck they were talking about selling blank books. But long story short, they were talking about Amazon KDP, which stands for Kindle Direct Publishing, and actually, that's the method I used to sell the book that I wrote. And I knew that this was all going to come together at some point. And I've always wanted to write a book. I've always wanted to launch a book. I've always wanted to be an author, and I want to continue being an author. So I come across this course on KDP, and I learned about selling and uploading books as a self-published author on Amazon. And I think, okay, well, like, this is kind of my signal to the universe that I think I need to, put my thoughts out there. Honestly, like, the world has been hurting, and I know the world still is hurting, and I don't know that I can't say that we're rounding third base quite yet. I think we still have some legwork to do and whatnot, but I wanted to put something out there that would help the world and just lift people up and hopefully bring us together and promote kindness and, being nice to your neighbor, or not having that short fuse on that Southwest flight, or not Southwest, they don't really sell alcohol, but those airlines that are selling alcohol, let's face it, we got people going nuts. So anyway, the purpose of the book was just to give back and help the world, but I'm not here to promote that. I'm just here to talk about my Twitter experience, and as you can tell, I got a little off topic. I'm just really jazzed about my experience that I've had there. To dive into that a little bit more, I've met people from all around the world, first of all. Now I've got friends in Pakistan, I've got friends in India, I've got friends in Canada, San Diego, New York, you name it, pretty much all around the world. Guatemala. It's really awesome to just be meeting people all around the world. I've done a couple podcasts. I've been on podcasts with people from California, the UK, and actually I think about 3 weeks ago, I spoke to 2 high school classes and just kind of covered my life experiences and my work experiences. I've been in corporate America for about 15 years now, started at Abercrombie & Fitch, and now I'm at Nike. I just hit 11 years with Nike. So, I've got a little bit of experience under my belt. I could definitely provide some feedback to the younger generation and just talk about things that I've learned things that I'm glad I did, things that I regret not doing, and just try to pass that information along. So if it wasn't for Twitter, I would not have done any of that. I would not have done any podcasts. I wouldn't have talked to any high school classes. It just goes to show that, you know, joining one app and making friends, making connections, not being afraid to use that mute or block button really make a difference. But look, long story short, my life is never going to be the same. And it's not just because of the pandemic, it's also because of Twitter. I wrote a book. I'm an author on Amazon. I'm mining crypto. I just have a different mindset now. And this is all because of Twitter. Megan, how'd that sound?
I think it sounded good.
Yeah? So what are you waiting for? Join Twitter, start fresh, and find your tribe.